Budget smartphones tend to form a lot of the content on this channel because they take up the biggest segment globally in terms of shipments. So that's why we focus a lot of attention on it. One of the best budget smartphones we reviewed last year was the Honor 90 Lite, which is incredible value for money for around $250. And there wasn't much in the way of a compromise when it came to aesthetics, let's just say. Now, however, there's a new successor, the Honor 90 Lite, and it's this, the Honor 200 Lite. Why they skipped 110 digits, I don't know. And it's keeping a lot of the things that we really liked about the Honor 90 Lite. We'll cover a few key specs. So you get 35 watts of fast charging, 108 megapixel camera, and a front camera, 50 megapixels. And then it's powered by Dimensity 6080 at 6 nanometers. The full spec sheet will be in this video, and one of these side panels will give you the full spec sheet. But that's what some of the key specs. Now, this is aiming to replicate a lot of what made the Honor 90 Lite great. Now, one of the key things with any smartphone is its design, as well as its cameras, and in particular for this, the UI, which we'll get to towards the end of this video. So we're going to cover off those main three elements. First, let's talk design of the Honor 200 Lite. One of the winning things of the Honor 90 Lite was the way it looked. It was squared off, a very nothing phone-esque. It looked great, felt great in the hands, and they've done it again. This is crazy light. Funny enough, matches the name. Lol, happy accident. But also, these design aesthetics you see from the front of the phone are insane. The bezels are tiny compared to most phones that cost this much. And the frame, the rear, everything is super, super nice. This feels great. It is very plasticky. You can feel that straight away as soon as you put it in your hand. It is plastic, but it's designed in such a way it feels great. So you've got your power button, which is also your fingerprint scanner on the side, volume up and down key. On the top, you've got your mic. On this side, you've got your SIM ejector tool for your SIM card. And at the bottom, you've got just one speaker to fire music and sound from, and then your USB-C charger. Basic, pretty easy setup. And then on the rear, you've got your triple cameras powered mainly by 108 megapixels. Now, talking about the 108 megapixel camera, on paper, it looks amazing. But then, how does it actually perform? Let's show you. Triple cameras on the rear. Design-wise, they look fine. But we're not talking about design, we're talking performance. Let's focus on the front, actually first. Front-facing camera, 50 megapixels. This is one of the main selling points of the Honor 200 Lite over the Honor 90 Lite, and this is the focus of all the marketing has been on that front 50 megapixel camera. We will show you samples how it performs. On the rear, 108 megapixel main, 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro. Both front and rear main lenses will record at 1080p 30 fps, which on the face of it, you may be like, ooh, oh no. Actually, nah, it's absolutely fine. It makes total sense because if you're a fanatic looking for 4K and video, you're probably not going to buy an Honor 200 Lite and you're going to have a slightly bigger budget. In terms of performance though, overall, it's exactly as you would expect and very reminiscent of the Honor 90 Lite. Just small tweaks and refinements. Color production is good. Generally taking a quick photo, whatever have you. I would say switching modes from your ultra wide to your wide to your 1x to your 2x. 1x and 2x is fine. From ultra wide to wide, it actually takes half a millisecond to switch over. It's very noticeable. You will see a white blur on the screen and then it'll switch over. Bit odd, but it did happen a few times to us. Can't seem to replicate it in this video, which is unfortunate. Generally though, performance is very good. Night photos, again, good. And then your video, 1080p, 30 FPS, looks fine. All of it is serviceable. I mean, it costs $250. You're not gonna get an incredibly high performing phone. It's good. It's exactly as you'd expect. And to be fair, when we saw the spec sheet, we got the phone, they sat in line exactly with our expectations of what you'd expect from a phone that costs $250. Other elements though, maybe are a bit too similar. Let's talk UI. There's a few things on here though that are a bit, I guess some people would say a bit of a failure. And you know what they say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I think that's the saying. This is very, very iOS-like. from the Magic Pill, as they call it, or Dynamic Island, as you probably know it as on iOS. That is a copy. And then if you swipe down from the corner, how they display the icons, very, very similar to how the control center looks on iOS. Is it such a bad thing though? To some extent, maybe, but I think what they've done, they've copied it, but they've copied it well. Magic Pill, let's talk about that quickly, looks really, really good. I think personally looks better than the iOS version. The drop down for example, Spotify looks really good. It's thinner, but wider, so it takes up less space on your home screen if you are using it, and you can use the voice record as well, but there are limitations what applications you can use. And it displays it very well. It runs very smoothly. No real issues in terms of connecting to it and tapping it and accessing it. No issues at all. In terms of Magic OS 8, there's some cool, funky tricks. For example, you can swipe on the calendar section to roll through stacked widgets. Very similar again to iOS. And then the use of the phone itself, that 90 Hz refresh rate, works very, very well. Snapdragon, its MediaTek 6080 processor works very well and is more than serviceable for what this phone is trying to achieve, which is give you a good experience in terms of browsing the web, watching your videos, paying your bills, messaging, social media. It'll do all that and all that very, very well. It won't handle heavy task loads like gaming, for example, or anything more demanding, like if you look at to edit a video or cut a video, whatever have you, it will struggle in that area. But for everything else, it works very, very well. We've not really pushed it, to be honest, because we know what it is and isn't capable of, but what we have thrown at it, it has performed very well. So if you can get over the iOS imitation, Magic OS 8 is actually pretty good. Our final thoughts on the Honor 200 Lite. Let's quickly touch on the unboxing experience. So you get your basic cable, the phone, case, pin, manuals, basic stuff. But if you're somebody who wants to maximize as much as possible that 35 watt wired charging, then why not consider grabbing something like this? This is a USB-C powered Anker Nano from Anker. Essentially, it's a super lightweight travel adapter that will power and almost get you full use of that 35 watts of fast charging on your Honor 200 Lite. So hit the description, link in description, shop Anker, plug over. Our thoughts. Honestly, there's two things we would say that are a bit of a miss when it comes to the Honor 200 Lite. No IP rating, it's a bit of a shame. No wireless charging. Fast charging at 35 watts, I think is really good, considering that probably charges faster than some of the S24 series, which is hilarious. But other than that, this is the perfect update to the Honor 90 Lite. The main thing I would say that's the biggest one is the layout. How this is designed and laid out is amazing. Absolutely love the design aesthetics. I think if you were to put this in the hands of somebody randomly in the street and said, use that phone, tell me how much you think it's worth, I can almost guarantee they save £500 to £600 because it doesn't feel or look or is designed in a way that looks cheap. Yes, it is literally entirety plastic, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that this costs $250, roughly around that as an offer, and it performs exactly as it should. Cameras are more than serviceable, power is more than serviceable, functions, etc., all very good. I would say the only hesitance I would have on it is I would like Honor to start making their OS feel like their own rather than trying to imitate. I get the why, but let's try and find our own avenue. Other brands haven't done this. Samsung, Google, Xiaomi, wherever have you, Xiaomi to an extent have, but they've strayed away from some key things that drive that similarity between Android and iOS. Honor have embraced and sort of given their own take on it, which is absolutely fine, but hopefully moving forward, they can sort of make this design aesthetic their own moving forward into the other 200 series and further into year and next year and so on and forth. But overall though, Honor 200 Lite, great, have no problems. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, as always, we out.